Hi there, welcome to Tarot Land Soap Opera. Today we're going to do scattered Cancer energy. This is just based on the premise that I think, it's love, self-love that kind of holds us together so that if we wanted to tap into all the various different characteristic traits that all the zodiac signs have that we can all tap into, it's from a foundation of self-love that we're able to work with those all together because we're not battling within ourselves. We're not fighting off our fear and our insecurity that, if we just come to peace within ourselves. So, what I want to do in this reading is for people who are in scattered Cancer energy, they're not coming from a foundation of self love within themselves. They're still battling their fears, their insecurities, or wanting to overcome their self limiting beliefs or their pride or their ego. And I just want it to be about them. We'll see what else I touch on here, but I just specifically wanted to do the people in certain zodiac signs who are struggling. Because I think people who don't come from a foundation of self-love are always battling within themselves. They're getting caught up in fear or illusion. We're meant to treat ourselves in a loving, compassionate, respectful manner, to forgive ourselves from the past, forgive others from the past, and keep moving forward in our life towards our hopes and our dreams, kind of like the divine. No matter what people throw at the divine says, yep, I'll use that, learn lessons from it, and nothing is going to stop the divine from manifesting what it wants to bring into reality. And I kind of think we're the same way. But some people, their shadow nature, their fears, their greed, their insecurities, their self-limiting beliefs, it's kind of like they got a narcissist. Our shadow side is like a narcissist in our own head. The devil whispering on our shoulder, saying we don't have to do that. We don't have to put in the work and effort. We don't have to deal with our fears and insecurities. We can just drink or party or do whatever else we want to do to try to ignore it, and life will be fine. And when they don't put in the work and effort to deal with their own fears and insecurities, I think they always have this inner conflict. So, the top row for positive Cancer energy is the aspects of themselves that want to move forward. Their positive Virgo nature would like them to learn the lessons they were meant to learn from this past cycle. There's been a lot of inner conflict. Maybe because people who aren't coming from self-love are getting into relationships and kind of creating illusion, maybe kind of manipulating people to give them the things that they want in a relationship. So, and they have inner conflict about believing they have all the resources they need to manifest their dreams into reality. Each of us, every moment of every day, have the resources we need at that very moment to begin to start to manifest our dreams into reality. We have the mental capability, we have the time, energy, and resources, our thoughts and our emotions to dedicate to imagining what our future could be. So their Virgo nature would like them to learn the lesson they were meant to learn from the past, and to, in Sagittarius energy, to balance out their emotions. Sagittarius energy is fire sign energy, so those things that get us worked up, which can be stress, anxiety, fear, insecurity, our selfishness, our greed, our self-protectionism, whatever. To balance those out, to balance out whatever those strong emotions or feelings or thoughts are, and to balance those out with love and compassion and forgiveness, and having a foot in the emotions, yes, but also being grounded and practical and stable, not so immersed in our emotions, which could be that fear, that insecurity, and all those things. That we want to stay grounded and practical and believe in divine timing and believe that the universe wants to guide us forward, but we need to temper ourselves and calm down. You could look at these as our hot emotions and calm it down with our more cooler emotions to not be in such an excited state. And then in our Taurus energy, which is about our philosophy of life towards ourself, how we view ourselves in the world, how we view relationships and contracts and marriages. And Taurus is like the whole set of rules and regulations in our head that guide our decisions every day in our life. And if in positive Taurus energy we're committed and hardworking and dedicated to ourselves, to learn the lessons, balance our emotions, to get balance between our heart and our mind, and Libra energy, to have justice and fairness and balance in our life. So the people who are in scattered energy right now, their Virgo nature wants to balance out their strong feelings and emotions about how their philosophy about them, philosophy of like ideology about themself and the world has caused them heartbreak because they've maybe lived a little bit more from a foundation of, isn't it about my image? Isn't it about my status? Isn't it about focusing more on the 3D world and what everyone thinks of me? Isn't it about me showing I'm stable and abundant to the world? Isn't it all about presenting an image to the world? Isn't it all about focusing on the things that the world tells me I should value? Well, that is Taurus worldly earth sign energy. That is what kind of, shadowy Taurus energy could tell you. But if we stay with that kind of philosophy of life about ourselves and the world, it's heartbreaking. We're living more from our mind than our heart. So positive Virgo and Sag energy are trying to help people in their scattered Cancer energy of what is love. What do we get into relationships for? Because Cancer is about home and family. Do we get in relationships because of our image, our status? Are those people going to betray us? Are we fearful and afraid? And so because we're fearful and afraid that other people, based on their philosophy of life and relationships and marriage and status and image and the things they want, that they'll maybe betray us? So because of that, people who aren't balanced within themselves and haven't taken the time to try to calm themselves down and work through their fears and insecurities have a lot of inner conflict about believing they can manifest their dreams into reality. For some of them, from a foundation of love, they might want to make an offer either to a Sagittarius or someone they see as being very grounded and creative and inspired and emotionally balanced to move forward in a relationship. But then their mind kind of sabotages them and it causes them inner conflict about believing they could fear that this person who's being patient and balanced, that seems to be loyal and committed, they could be afraid that that person is manipulating them. If this is someone who generally has operated in kind of shadowy Cancer energy where they're kind of use their emotions and relationships to be manipulative, they think other people are like them. So they fear that these people in their life that they maybe could have a commitment with, they're fearful that those people are manipulating them. Are you just a better manipulator than me? We're really the people who aren't in scattered Cancer energy, who really are kind of equally balanced between all their zodiac sign characteristics and come from a foundation of self love and hope and faith and belief, those people probably really have learned their lessons and they have balanced out their emotions about the fact that they were in a relationship with someone who is in scattered Cancer energy, who maybe operated more from pride and ego and status and image and 3D stuff, who betrayed them. And these people are trying to move forward to overcome the inner conflict about that situation, to manifest their dreams into reality, and take creative, inspired action about the fact that some people ignored their love offer. They thought a dream was going to come into reality with this person where they'd work together from a pure, innocent kind of nature, where people would see things from new perspectives. They'd be willing to see things from other people's perspectives and become enlightened and not operate from fear and insecurity. And they'd be willing to be open and honest and authentic and speak their emotional truth and see things from the bigger picture. But people who are in scattered Cancer energy, they have a lot of inner conflict about taking creative, inspired action about the past. In the past, relationships didn't work out, because when we all move forward in love and hope and faith and confidence and belief, if there hadn't been some relationships in the past that we felt didn't work out, that caused us to be kind of in fear and insecurity. And in order for these people in scattered Cancer energy to move forward in their life, they need to start to believe they can manifest their dreams into reality. And they need to take some creative, inspired action about this idea that, well, because things didn't work out in the past, I can't have my dreams come into reality. Or I'm so afraid people will ignore my love offer that things won't work out in the past, in the future. I'm so afraid if I move forward with people that at some future time people will ignore my love offer and my dream won't come into reality. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's just fear, 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 fear. You got to get to a place where you're not fearful within yourself anymore. Life is what it is. I will take creative, inspired action. I will always take this cup of love from the universe to keep moving forward to see my dreams come into reality. If people don't take that cup of love at some future point in time, that's their free will choice. The divine's in control of everything anyway. Who knows why people make the decisions they do? So a Virgo, a Sag, a Taurus, and a Libra are right now battling with a magician, their own shadow nature that's trying to manipulate them, cause them to be an illusion, cause them to be in fear and insecurity, and for them to think that they should maybe take action towards someone else. Maybe they missed an opportunity with someone else. It's like denial. Instead of learning your lessons and balancing out your emotions about your own belief system about yourself and life, and dealing with your own inner conflict, they'd just rather leave the relationship, betray the marriage or the relationship, and live an illusion that, you know what, I think there's someone else I should be in a relationship with. I don't think this is the right one. But it's illusion. It's their own fear and insecurity that keeps them from moving forward in a loving, committed relationship with maybe a Virgo who's very emotionally balanced and committed and loyal. And this person's like, oh, no, 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 no. I'm afraid they might manipulate me. So their own shadow nature of fear and insecurity tells them I think you should take some creative action to ignore their love offer. And I think if we try to manipulate this person, then we won't have to learn the lessons that we're meant to learn. And we don't have to balance out our emotions. And we don't got to deal with our philosophy of how we see our life in the world and relationships and marriages. I think if we manipulate this loving, kind person, they'll come towards us. And then we'll see our dreams come into reality and we won't have to put in the work and effort. So sadly, people who are in scattered Cancer energy, they're scattered because they haven't overcome their own fear and insecurities. There's the parts of them that want to do that, but they fight against that. Their shadow side fights against them, using their time, energy, and effort to balance out their emotions about, being committed and loyal and dedicated and hardworking in a relationship. They're so afraid that they're going to get betrayed or be heartbroken if they do that. It's like they don't want to invest in it. If it's their own philosophy of how they perceive themselves in the world that right now is causing them to make mind over heart decisions, they need to spend some time and effort to get more balanced in their philosophy about life. So they will quit self-sabotaging themselves. We are meant to be balanced. We're not meant to be in fear and insecurity, or we're supposed to build an emotional foundation within ourselves so we feel we can weather emotional storms. We're supposed to, that regardless if no one else in the world chooses to treat us with love and compassion and respect and encouragement and support, we do it for ourselves. If there is no one else in the world who does it, we should be the one person in the world who does that for ourselves. And if we did do that for ourselves, we'd have a positive emotional belief system about ourselves and how we feel about ourselves. And we treat ourselves in a loving, kind, respectful manner. We wouldn't make decisions that are disrespectful and unloving and unkind to ourselves. We wouldn't mentally beat ourselves up. We'd treat ourselves with compassion, like someone we want to have succeed in the world. Kind of makes common sense when you think of it, that we should treat ourselves like that. But if some people would prefer to move forward ignoring love, thinking that's how their dreams are going to come into reality, and they don't want to take love from the universe, maybe they don't believe in a higher power. Maybe their belief system and philosophy of life is everything is about the 3D world. It is about my image. It is about my status. It's about me being surrounded by luxury in life. Then I'll be viewed as being successful and abundant. But will you be successful and abundant? Is that what makes people emotionally fulfilled? No, love is what makes people. That's why ever since we've been small children, we have grown and thrived in relationships with people who are loving and warm and supportive and encouraging. We have more worth and value to us than thinking our life should be based on how other people view us. Or if I've got money and wealth, I guess I should be happy. I think we all see enough stories of famous rich people who aren't happy. So it looks like they need to add some new resources to their philosophy of life and try to find balance between their 3D nature and their spiritual believing nature of hope and faith and belief and passion and dreams and love, and try to find balance between their worldly nature and their more higher perspective aspects of self. We're not like an animal running around down here. We're supposed to be more enlightened than that. and heal their own past pain and heartbreak of whatever before made them choose not to move forward from a foundation of self-love or love, and work through, I don't know, their competitive nature or protectionistic nature, or thinking life is all about the 3D world and competing. You know, if you come from a foundation of love and belief in yourself, you don't got to worry about competing with anyone, because no one will bring you down worse than your own shadow side. People can put you down, but if you come from a strong foundation of self-belief and confidence and hope and faith that no matter what happens to you, you can overcome it because that's the divine plan for your life, you can overcome anything. That it really doesn't matter what anybody else does to you out there in the world. You're not operating from pride and ego. What other people do and choose to do is their free will choice. It's not a reflection of you. You don't got to be better than anyone else, blah, blah, blah. You have your own unique life purpose to live, and so does everyone else. We're meant to learn lessons and believe we can manifest our dreams into reality. Sadly, the people in scattered energy, though, because they're so stressed out and in their head about love, or if they should love themselves, if anyone could love them, if they could love other people, is love real? That instead, those people right now might be deciding that they are going to go manipulate a Taurus energy, a Queen of Cups, in order to make it look like they're moving forward in a very successful manner. They're not willing to do the work in Cancer energy of the Chariot to come from a foundation of self-love to get themselves balanced, to get in the driver's seat of their own life and take the reins of their free will and say, you're not running me into the ditch anymore. I control my thoughts. I control what emotions I sit in, and I'm not running my life off into the ditch in fear and insecurity, or living a life of illusion because I don't want to authentically be myself, get in the driver's seat of my own life. I don't want to be authentically myself and live my authentic life on this planet. I want to live a facade, really? Is it more about your image and your status than being who you really truly are? They might decide to try to manipulate someone who they view as a marriage partner who's very stable and abundant as a Queen of Pentacles. I don't know if that person would be in high vibe energy or not, but this person is in low vibe Cancer energy. They use their emotions with people to emotionally manipulate them so that those people will move forward in a way that will help this person look victorious, because for some reason they're unwilling to come from a foundation of self-love within themselves and learn the lessons they are meant to learn and do the work to balance out their emotions to believe they can manifest their own dreams. So if they can get that person to move forward with them when they're in the relationship, it'll be a triangulated relationship because this person isn't balanced within themselves. They have a third party interfering with their being aligned with love. They have their own shadow side interfering, their pride, their ego, their fear, their insecurity. And so they'll be emotionally manipulative and passive aggressive in the relationship because they don't believe that they can manifest their dreams into reality. Maybe they don't believe they have the emotional capacity, the mental capacity, the creative capacity. I don't know. Let's see. They're stressed because they maybe let go of the truth. The truth is we are meant to treat ourselves in that loving, compassionate manner, and they let go of the truth and chose to live in a mental prison. Let's go see why. Why did this, people who are in scattered Cancer energy, why did they let go of the truth that You know, life is supposed to be about self-love and love and helping other people be in the energy of love and believing in themselves and encouraging others, you know? So we have less people in the world operating from fear and insecurity. Well, the Wheel of Fortune talks about going with the flow of the universe, being willing to step out of your comfort zone, to move forward, to learn, to grow, to change. This person is defensive of maybe divine justice, because, you know, the Libra justice card, you know, do you believe in a higher truth and order to life or not? Where people trust the universe, that the universe has a plan, divine has a plan for your life, and we're meant to emotionally temper our worldly nature. There is a higher purpose to life. We're not just supposed to be running around this jungle of life, you know, all about competing in the 3D jungle. We're a more elevated being than that. Emotionally, there's the hidden realm to us. Our emotions, our feelings, our creativity, our dreams, those aspects of self are supposed to temper our beastly nature of worldliness. And between the two aspects, we can, you know, because otherwise people are just operating from pride and ego. They're huffing and puffing in the forest, saying they're the biggest, baddest lion on the block, but they're not emotionally connected in with themselves. And instead of choosing to get emotionally connected in with themselves to temper their worldly, beastly nature that's maybe very competitive, this person instead took a risk to, I guess, their own sense of what they think is just and fair. And they think what's just and fair is to be defensive and guarded. And I guess for them to operate more out of pride and ego than self love. Hmm. Some people could have kind of gotten in scattered energy, you know. People can be going along well and everything's kind of going okay in your life and it seems like things are good, but then something happens, you know, we're kind of at a decision point in our life where we need to learn a lesson, balance out our emotions, maybe reevaluate our philosophy of ourself and life and how we view it because we've experienced some pain and heartbreak that's caused us some inner conflict. And we either need to do the work and effort to keep taking creative, inspired action and love and hope and faith and belief that our dreams will still come into reality, or we sink down kind of into our shadow side of fear and insecurity. And when we do that, we don't keep our eye. You could kind of look at the lion and the Leo sun as being like the divine. Instead of trusting in the divine and strength and love, someone took a risk to either go towards a Libra that was defensive or deciding in their own mind it was just and fair to be defensive. And they were not going to go with the flow of the universe because they were betrayed and they were in a mental prison. And because of that, maybe they got mad at God. And it's like, I'm not doing the love track anymore. I'm going to protect myself. And from now on, I'm going to live more from my mind than my heart. And I guess I'm just going to create illusion in relationships about that I'm willing to move forward and work with them emotionally, but well, yeah, you know. they might decide, I'm going to manifest my dreams into limiting my emotional investment in the world to money and materialism in the 3D world, because love has betrayed me. And they're going to turn their back on people in their life that they could have moved forward with, who are loving, who would like to work together with them. But in order for this person to work together with those people, they'd again have to work through their fears and insecurities. And for some people who were at that critical point in their life where they needed to make a decision, and if we don't put in the work and effort in Virgo to pay attention to the details of our life, willing to go within to gain insight and wisdom, and to balance out our emotions, then some people might take a foolish risk. And when we do that, it can scatter our energy. We have this inner conflict, and instead of offering it love, it put us up in our mind in a mental prison. We became defensive. For some reason, it maybe kicked them into pride and ego, and they became defensive. They were unwilling to be just and fair. Well, let's see why. Why were they defensive to being just and fair? Because then they would have to see things from a new perspective, which is why they could have been in a relationship or a marriage, and because in their Taurus energy about their philosophy of what relationships should be like, how people should conduct themselves in a relationship, maybe their way of conducting their way in a relationship is that maybe they have the resources, and it's like people are just supposed to balance out their emotions in a relationship with me, because I operate from pride and ego, and I'm unwilling to change my perspective about how relationships are supposed to be, how I'm supposed to act, how you're supposed to act. I'm unwilling to see things from your perspective, because I have inner conflict about if I were to go about it in a healthy, loving, just, and fair, respectful manner. I have fear that if I do that, they'd actually really then be investing in the relationship. And what if they really invested in the relationship, and then at some future date, as time goes by, someone ignored their love? They'd be all stressed and devastated. So instead, they are going to be stubborn and prideful in a relationship out of self-protectionism of pride and ego. That is kind of my way or the highway, being very stubborn, even to the point of betraying a marriage or a relationship, maybe even taking a risk to manipulate a third party and make it look like they were going to move forward with them in order to make the people they're in a relationship with that are loving and kind up here do things in a relationship the way they want it. It's all about them and them protecting themselves. They offer the resources maybe for stability and security, and you're just supposed to balance out your emotions about them being stubborn and prideful, and they operate more from their mind than their heart and their pride and ego. So sadly, when people were at a point in their life where they had the opportunity in a loving relationship to learn their lessons, they operated, instead of choosing to be emotionally brave and strong in their Leo nature, they chose to operate out of pride and ego. And they took a risk to justify their defensiveness. And for some of them, they might have went towards a Libra. Or towards someone they thought was just and fair. No, I don't know if that seems right. I think it would just be either a Libra or justified being defensive. And then, because they're very competitive and operating from pride and ego, They decided to create an illusion about why they were unwilling to learn their lessons and all that stuff, and found out that, the people in their life probably decided, I'm moving forward. And then this person was like, shoot, I didn't think that was what was going to happen. I thought you were going to do things the way I wanted it. So then, in order to kind of create an illusion about the whole thing, they maybe went and communicated to someone who felt they had missed an emotional opportunity in their life. Maybe this Queen of Pentacles or this Cancer, Taurus, maybe. Someone who felt like they had missed an emotional opportunity to have their dream come into reality. So this person said, you know what? Since all the ways I tried to stop you didn't work, I'm going to go take a risk to go still operate from my pride and ego, still unwilling to see things from any other perspective. I'm going to take a risk to go get another relationship to make other people in my life feel very competitive and cause them inner conflict, so they'll be heartbroken. And then maybe those people will decide to do the relationship the way I want and the way the people, well, I guess they could have been an okay energy, but I'm not sure. It sounds like, well, that's a pretty big switch to flip there. If they had been kind of in, maybe they were only a little tipped out of balance. And then when push came to shove, they really went out of balance. Interesting. This person is stressed and in a mental prison about moving forward towards their dream. 8 of Wands to 2 of Wands, letting go of a 6 of Wands. Oh, these people took a risk to go get in a different relationship that looked like, by worldly standards, that they were the victor. Look at me, I got in a different relationship. Oh no, you don't even understand. They created an illusion with the magician there about why they ended a positive, loving relationship. They created illusion around the whole thing. It was really that they didn't believe they had the resources to move forward. They didn't have confidence and belief in themselves, or they like to be manipulative and they're stubborn and prideful and egotistical. So right now, part of them wants them to learn their lessons and move forward and maybe balance out their emotions about how they betrayed a relationship or a marriage before, and deal with their inner conflict about the fact that they were manipulative, that they tried to manipulate other people, that they might have created illusion around this whole situation, and take some creative, inspired action to be in the energy of love and not miss this opportunity to see their dreams come into reality. But because of their fear and insecurity, they're just afraid that maybe the people up here that they were in a loving relationship with are just a better manipulator than them. That they're trying to manipulate them to come back to this relationship so that they're like the winner. It's like so competitive. That 5 of Wands is about being competitive. It's like, if this person had loving people in their life, their loving people aren't competing with them. The loving people are going to go forward and have their dreams come into reality with or without this person. They don't build their sense of worth and value over trying to manipulate other people to feel powerful. You try to feel powerful over other people by manipulating them and outwitting them and outsmarting them. If you don't come from a inner foundation of self-empowerment, and people who truly come from a foundation of self-love and belief in themselves, they're not competing with anyone. That's not where they derive their sense of empowerment. They get their empowerment from within themselves. So people who are in scattered energy are still fearful and afraid. And they could be knowing that if they continue with the relationship that they're in, or turning their back on working together with people emotionally, and either in a relationship or out of a relationship, this person's going to focus on Taurus energy of money and materialism. And if they decide, well, if they don't get themselves out of their own scattered energy, and nobody can do that but them, they have to put in the hard work and effort of Virgo. They have to do the work themselves to balance out their emotions. No one else can balance out their emotions about their kind of philosophy of life and relationships and marriages. And if they're going to continue to live more from their mind than their heart, if this person continues in their life the way it is, it's just that they're really stressed that they maybe didn't speak the truth, that they were had a lot of fears and insecurities about taking creative, inspired action towards their dreams, because the way they'd always viewed and thought they were going to have victory in the 3D world was by coming from a 3D foundation about money, image, status, maybe pride and ego and competitiveness. They hadn't come from a foundation maybe of love within themselves for a really long time, or didn't think that was the route. And the people who are moving forward in their life are letting go of thinking they can have victory with this person, because you can only have victory with other people who take creative action to rise above their own inner conflict and their own competitive nature, and are willing to work together with you cooperatively in a loving, respectful, patient, loving manner. And they're kind of stressed and anxious that the people in their life who do dream, who are willing to move forward, who are willing to change and learn and grow and learn their lessons, those people are going to have a new beginning. Well, and that's what's just and fair. They do deserve to have a new beginning. And until these people do the work, they're not. They're going to have maybe a relationship with someone that's all about image and status. It's not about love. And for some of them, they're going to turn their back maybe on a Cancer. Oh, these are 2 Cancer energies. People who they could have had maybe a loving relationship with, and they're going to instead stay focused on repeating patterns of the past, keeping up an illusion, keeping up a pretense of being a certain type of person, and limit their emotional investment to money and materialism. Let's go see, what is this person hoping to manifest if they don't put in the work and effort to balance out their emotions? They hope to move forward, making mind over heart decisions. They are also maybe going to communicate to someone, a Queen of Pentacles. Just make sure that's not you, regardless of your zodiac sign. Someone who's in scattered Cancer energy right now might want to communicate to someone who's stable and abundant and tell them they want to move forward and work together with them emotionally, because I don't know if they tell them that they're stressed and have been in a mental prison about a risk they took. The whole thing is, if this person isn't coming from a foundation of having reconciled with the past and reconciled with their fears and their insecurities, and is operating maybe more from their fear and insecurity, or wanting to present a certain image, or wanting to look victorious, Okay, let's ask. What is the advice for people who might have somebody coming towards them? And it doesn't mean you're in scattered energy or shadowy energy or just in their storyline. What's the advice for people who have someone coming towards them? Because somebody down here could have somebody, if they kind of tip into their shadow nature, they're going to try to move forward with people and use that person as a vehicle. If they can maybe get balance within themselves, they might want to make an offer to someone who's emotionally balanced, maybe a Sagittarius, and make an offer to the conflict and fighting that has stopped them from manifesting that relationship. For these people down here who have somebody who's kind of shadowy, what is the advice for them? Oh, and I think these cards are kind of messed up. So, we're kind of looking at the Queen of Pentacles here, looking at the Magician. And here then it says, take creative, inspired, bold, confident action towards this person to protect your future. In your future, you want people who are tapped into their Pisces nature, their emotion. They've tapped into their emotions, their intuition, their creativity, their imagination. They're willing to learn and grow and expand and be a student of life. They're willing to, they've offered their love and their resources to become emotionally self-sovereign. And well, I guess they're in shadowy energy. So it's kind of like maybe the advice instead is rise above this person. You know, this person might have, move forward, I guess. Protect your future. Your Pisces emotional nature wants to offer love to the future. It wants to learn and grow and expand. It wants to have emotional wish fulfillment with people who aren't defensive of rising above their inner conflict and their competitive nature just to want to get in a relationship to have a victory and indulge himself, you know. Listen to your intuition. This person might be making you an emotional offer because they want you to invest in them to make them happy, because they haven't learned how to invest in themselves, because they're mentally defensive of rising above their inner conflict and their competitive nature to rise above it all so that they could make themselves happy within themselves. They want you to put in the time, energy, and effort to make them happy so they can be codependent on you. Okay, for the people in the top row who might have a Virgo energy coming towards them, who wants to balance things out, well, I guess if people get themselves emotionally balanced, let go of the idea that this person put an end to being a loving, nurturing partner who was unwilling to invest. Because the truth is maybe that this person has put an end to being a person who is all about image and status and wealth and image, and being a person who wasn't willing to put in work and effort. Because in Virgo energy and the Seven of Pentacles, they gave thought and consideration to what they were going to invest in. But I don't know, if they're still in scattered energy, you know, it's just like they're just not cohesive, really, you know. What is your advice? Maybe let go of this idea and put an end to trying to nurture a Seven of Pentacles person? Someone who hasn't put in the work and effort within themselves to grow themselves to their full potential? You know, if they're still in scattered energy, I mean, their positive nature wants them to heal within themselves. But if this person hasn't healed within themselves, you know, if there's still someone who's like, oh, I don't know, do I really want to invest? And I think I'll come make an offer to you, you know, but my foundation still operates from a foundation of heartbreak, and I have inner conflict, and I just want to create the illusion that I'm moving forward because someone else ignored my love, and so I want to see my dreams come into reality with you. It's like, you know, if this person isn't telling the truth, put an end to nurturing and investing in this person or being a marriage partner to this person. You deserve to be in relationships with people who are on the same status you are, male or female. A King of Pentacles is someone in Capricorn energy who has done the hard work and effort to mature themselves to their full potential. From love, self-compassion, self-forgiveness. The past is over. These people are moving forward in their life. And this person might still be a Seven of Pentacles where it's like, I want to make you an offer, but I want you to stop right there and I don't want you to go any further. I don't want you to put an end to this relationship or marriage. I don't want you to keep dealing with your inner conflict and balancing out your emotions and going and creating, seeing your own dreams come into reality. So if they're still in scattered energy, maybe not telling the truth, they might lie about the fact that they ended things with the King of Pentacles. See, down here they were trying to manipulate a Queen of Pentacles because they wanted to be a King of Pentacles. They wanted to be all about the world and image and status. They might tell you that they ended things, that they no longer want to be a King of Pentacles to that person, that they're ready to invest in you. Well, is this person willing to tell the truth? Have they, I don't know, that's for you to decide. Their own Virgo and Sagittarius energy want them to let go of the idea of being deceitful and manipulative in relationships out of fear and insecurity. It wants them to put an end to their worldly nature of being all about image and status and reputation, and to be careful about what they invest in. Are they going to work together with people from an emotional foundation? If that's what they want, they need to come from an emotional foundation within themselves. They need to start working together within themselves emotionally. Otherwise, they need to go down here to this shadowy relationship where they're going to be emotionally manipulative and passive aggressive. So it's just, I guess, to find out if they did the work or not. And then I don't like that Five of Wands over there. Oh, well, I did archetype cards for people who are in kind of scattered energy. Their positive aspect of self wants them to surrender their power of choice to the divine with complete trust. But their shadowy nature is kind of a destroyer, and it is intoxicated with its own destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potentials. We either self-empower ourselves from a foundation of love, or we feel empowered in the world by kind of like dominating over people, controlling other people, manipulating other people, trying to cause other people conflict. Like, oh my gosh, look at them. Look how mad they are. Look at what I did. I'm so powerful. Wow, pathetic, right? And these people would benefit from surrender and healthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. Yeah, if these people could wrap their brain around what a healthy life is about and what the underlying foundation is to be, that we're emotionally complex human beings for a reason. It's supposed to be about growing and changing the world, growing and changing ourselves to more maturity, and helping other people grow and mature to their full potential, to truly be a King of Pentacles. It's not about being a King of Pentacles of the world. Look at me. Look how much image and status and wealth and money I have. That was not the point. The point is to nurture and love yourself so that you're no longer driven by the worldly things. And you are able to nurture everyone else that you invest time, energy, and effort into. So we have more people in the world who are emotionally nurturing and loving and realizing we're not supposed to be limiting our life to operating from pride and ego and defensiveness and thinking that our worth and value comes from what we own or what we wear or how much money we got in the bank. You know, we all appreciate those things and we can all have some of those things. There's more than enough for everyone. But are we going to build our life on a foundation to pursue having the things that the divine knows we want in our life from a foundation of love? Or are we going to do it from rejecting love and being emotionally manipulative, selfish, greedy, all about ourselves and our own image and our own status? It's an awful selfish way to live. But if you don't know your worth and value, you are going to make your life about those things. So, and then the archetype card or the fear shadow card they got was non-committal, not revealing, freedom, vague, wearing a mask. And the reason that came out was because of unhealthy habits, detrimental drugs, self-control. You know, we have to, if we want to have the life we truly want of loving, creative, inspired, passionate, respectful relationships, to think that we can have those while we're trying to manipulate other people, that's kind of twisted. Yes, I want you to be loving and kind and nurturing and work together with me emotionally, but I'm creating an illusion. I'm so self-protective of my own heart. I'm so afraid that you could do something in the future that might damage my image or my ego, that, you know, I'm always on the defense, that if anything comes up that causes me stress and anxiety, I'll end things with you and backstab and betray you and create an illusion around the whole thing to protect my ego and image because that's the most important thing. Wow. So, anyway, I just thought it'd be interesting to see what is the inner conflict. I think people who aren't coming from a foundation of self love and trying to let the divine help them balance out their emotions about, you know, the relationships they would like to move forward with, but didn't work out, that, you know, betrayed them or whatever. You know, we keep working through those issues with hope and belief that the universe and the divine has a plan for our life so that we don't sit there focused on a relationship of the past that didn't work out. Then we're just kind of like the people who kind of were hurtful in a way. You know, we're meant to go towards our dreams and our wishes and be willing to be brave. So take that creative, inspired action, accept that cup of love from the universe, and face the future and know that your dreams will come into reality. If you've been dealing with someone who's in scattered Cancer energy. And we can all tap into that. We either come from a foundation of love and hope and faith, or we use our emotions manipulatively in relationships and families. So there you go. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.